What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Diction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So today is going to be a very interesting topic, and that's mainly because we're kind of talking about a new feature that was shown in the test server that's going to be making its way into, of course, all the main versions of COD Mobile in due time. But this particular feature has me kind of stumped, but at the same time, kind of hyped. I'm hyped about it because, we are going to be getting multiple class setups or multiple different sets of class setups, which is cool. This is something that a lot of people have been, I guess, requesting for a long time. But I'm stumped because what does this mean for our normal class setups? So first off, I do want to cover a little bit on the new class setups that we're getting. So the class setups are actually divided by 3 different game modes. So there are going to be 10 class setups for TDM, there's going to be 10 class setups for Search and Destroy, as well as 10 class setups for Hardpoint. So here is just a photo of proof that, there's going to be 10 class setups for each of those different game modes, especially for Hardpoint. I did not know this. This was actually a new photo that popped up, but apparently there will be a set of 10 class setups for both Hardpoint and Domination. So initially I did not know this. I did unlock these class setups during the test server, but again, I didn't realize that a set of 10 class setups would be reserved for 2 different modes, at least in certain situations. So yes, there will be 10 class setups that will be reserved for Hardpoint and Domination together. And then, of course, there will be just another set of 10 class setups singularly for Search and Destroy. And then there will be another set of 10 for Team Deathmatch and Frontline. But of course, we also have the universal class setups, which are just our basic class setups that we currently have today in COD Mobile. Of course, the question is, how do we unlock these other sets of 10 class setups? And believe it or not, it's not actually that hard to unlock. So the first thing that you actually have to do is just simply reach level 35. Which really shouldn't be too much of an issue, given that most of us are already like at level 400 or even just a little bit below that. So yeah, getting there is not really going to be much of a problem unless they actually change the standard later. The next step is to play one mode of a certain set of class setups that you want to unlock. So for example, if you want to unlock the TDM class setups, well, obviously you just have to play one game of TDM. The same goes for the Hardpoint Dominations or the Search and Destroy modes. Just play a game of those and then you unlock those class setups as well. However, there's a catch to this. Since there are 10 class setups for each of these modes, the moment you do unlock these class setups, you will only get 5. To unlock the other 5 class setups for each of these modes is actually pretty simple. Just keep ranking up. So for the 6th class setup, you would have to just simply make it to Pro 1. To unlock the 7th one, all you have to do is make it to Pro 3. To unlock the 8th one, you have to make it to Pro 5. And then for the last 2, you have to make it to Master 2 and Master 4. And this applies to all modes. So once you reach Master 4, you unlock all the extra class setups for each of those modes. So now that we have that out of the way, let's actually talk about how they function. So once you set up your class setups, let's say for TDM, for Search and Destroy, and Hardpoint, or whatever the case may be, whenever you get into those modes, it will only show you the class setups that you've set up for that mode. So let's say you have Search, TDM, and Hardpoint and Domination all together, right? And let's say you get a Hardpoint match. It will give you the Hardpoint class setups for you to use. If you are in TDM, it will show you your TDM setups. And if you are in Search and Destroy, I don't really think I have to explain it to you. Again, it's very simple stuff of how it's going to function. But of course, there are lingering questions. Given that these class setups only support TDM, Hardpoint, Domination, and Search and Destroy, what does that mean for Kill Confirmed or just all the other game modes? So basically, that's where the universal class setup comes in. All the modes that are not Search and Destroy or Hardpoint or Domination, etc., those will be saved for the universal class setup. So Kill Confirmed, any of those special featured playlists, or I think even Control might also have support for those universal class setups. So I know a lot of you guys will probably assume that these extra class setups are mainly just reserved for ranked. You would be wrong on that. So let's say you want to play some TDM that isn't related to ranked. Maybe you just want to play a normal TDM game, just cool off and everything. Your TDM setups will still be present when you do play TDM, even if it's not on ranked. The same goes for the other modes as well. Just because you're required to go to ranked to unlock these extra loadouts doesn't mean that these features are going to be only reserved for ranked. It works on normal modes as well. You guys may be wondering how I actually know this is because I actually tested it in the public test server. Basically, what I did is that on the first setup of each of those mode loadouts, I ended up putting an HSO for the TDM loadout and a Razorback on the hardpoint loadout, like basically on loadout 1. And I went to TDM to see if the HSO will show up as the first loadout, and it actually did. So it's safe to assume that all the loadouts are going to be working the same way with whatever game mode you're using. So you're going to get your hardpoint loadouts when you're playing hardpoint, and you're going to get your TDM loadouts when you play TDM, and Search and Destroy, the same thing. It was kind of hard to decipher which setup was which, mainly because it's just, we have it in Chinese text, at least for now. Once we get the global version, we'll be able to easily tell which one's which. But yeah, I will admit it's going to be a lot of work to set everything up individually. But at the same time, it's going to pay off because this is something, again, that a lot of people have been requesting for a long time. It may not be presented in the way that we thought. I'm assuming most of us probably wanted just more class ups to be unlocked automatically once we got the update. So we'll have loadout 11, 12, all the way to like 40 or something like that. Or maybe even 20. I wasn't expecting to get 40 different loadouts. But I still have a very, very burning question, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys are thinking as well. So if we unlock all of the loadouts, are they permanent? Or are they going to have to be locked once the season is over or a new season begins? So I think I have the answer. It may not be a direct answer, it may not even be the correct answer, but this is just all speculation, but I do have a very good feeling. So when you do unlock the initial 5 class setups, I have a feeling those might be the permanent class setups. But for the extra 5 that you do get, those might actually be temporary. And I'm talking about the 5 other class setups that you unlock by going from Pro 1 all the way to Master 4. So technically all the loadout modes that we have will be just 5 by default. Those are just going to be ours forever. But then to get the extra ones, if we do want those extra ones, we have to climb to Master 4 to unlock them all again. So I took a screenshot in the test server, and if you guys notice on the 6 class setup where you do have to be Pro 1 to unlock, there is a timer on that one. I said the answer that I just gave you guys might be the right one because to me it indicates that class setups 6 through 10 are going to be the temporary ones while 1 through 5 are going to be the permanent ones. So even if you guys are refusing to make it all the way to Legendary or just refuse to make it to Master 4, I mean, you still have 5 class setups for each of those modes, which I think is plenty for that type of thing. I don't really think I need 10 class setups just for a singular mode. So again, the timer indicator on the 6 class setup does kind of tell me that it's like those other 5 are going to be locked until you get Master 4 every single ranked reset. Again, for the first 5 class setups, if you guys play normal modes all the time, I don't really think you need those extra 5, but I'm sure for all of you guys that do play ranked on a daily basis, this is definitely going to be helpful to have those extra class setups. But just a reminder, those universal class setups do exist, so also make good use of those as well if you are doing clan nodes that require you to be on a very specific mode that doesn't involve hardpoint or all those main modes that we normally play. So that's basically all I have to say in the subject of these new loadouts. I hope you guys found this video to be instructive, and anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.